All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
And I forgot to take that off. Welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checkered Podcast. I am Andrew, joined with Austin, Joe, and Zach. As always, we're going to talk about Chicago Street Course. And I know Zach and I were talking before the race, and we were hoping to be a dry race. Well, boy, were we wrong. And then we had the Xfinity race, which, amazing. The Xfinity car is perfect. We should run the Xfinity car everywhere. Don't even at me at it. Just do it. NASCAR, let's get going on this. But let's jump into the Cup race. We got rain right off the bat. A little bit of a delayed start. Teams were allowed to put on whatever tires they wanted. So NASCAR just let the teams go at it this week and do what they wanted. Austin, you're shaking your head. How are you feeling about it?
I feel great. I like that they gave the teams the choice. I think that's something we talked about last time. Yeah, it was earlier than that. There's something we might have talked about last week, but we talked about it before. Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was a while ago, though, where we talked about, hey, let's let the teams choose. And we all kind of agreed that we felt that NASCAR was going to eventually make the move to let teams choose. Or just since rain tires were such a new thing, they wanted to control it for the first little bit and then switch over to then letting teams control. So it's nice to have that officially confirmed that now, okay, teams are getting a little bit of a choice. I like that, that we're moving that direction. So I was happy with it. I like rain whenever we can get it. I just like that it mixes stuff up. I feel like sometimes, I feel the same way with Formula One. I didn't get to watch all the race this weekend for F1, but what I saw, it was kind of rain and not rain and rain and not rain. So I think it's always fun to kind of mix things up in a non-chaotic way. I guess you could argue it's chaotic, but I thought, I don't mind the rain mix up, but I ultimately am very glad NASCAR gave teams that choice.
Joe, what do you think about having the choice?
Oh, 100% agree. We've been calling for that for forever, and I thought it was great. I mean, they did it from the start, the whole race. It wasn't just stage 2, you can do whatever you want. It was from the start because it was raining, but not hard, and that dry line came in pretty quick there, at the beginning and then at the end, and it made for a great race too, right? You had, obviously Bowman gambled with staying on wet tires, and it paid off barely. And then you had guys like Bell and Reddick, and they all came to the top 10 there at the end on slicks. So it was made for a great race, a lot of fun passing, and they got to do it at every track. Well, all the road courses, I should say.
Zach?
Yeah. I mean, rain just proves what we say all the time, is that these cars need to be hard to drive, because rain creates conditions where the cars are very hard to drive in. And you're slipping and sliding. And even, to my disbelief, I always view things like a GT3 car, and if you get them crossed up, they don't like that and they snap. But in the rain, they were, you saw them on restarts and stuff, especially, they were getting all crossed up and they were fine. They weren't snapping or anything. So I think rain just proves that we need to take more grip out of the cars, because look how good the racing is when there is no grip. My biggest complaint probably is just how the race was managed overall. I don't like the 4:30 start time for 4:30 Eastern start time for a race where apparently we need to get it in on Sunday, because it sounds like racing on Monday really wasn't an option. And we got our backs against the wall with darkness coming up. I don't love that. I didn't like him. It felt like we were hauling around there for a little bit when the rain was coming. I do appreciate NASCAR slowly working. I guess I get it. They're slowly working into the rain, getting a little bit more comfortable each time. But just I'm longing for us to get to the point where they just say, well, weather might be here, so good luck. and we
Yeah.
just race. You know what I mean? But like it seemed like rain. I guess the race was supposed to start at 4:30. Rain kind of crept in like right at 4:30. Well, 3:30 local time, whatever. And then they were like, we gotta see what we're gonna do. You know, so that sucks. But I mean, the racing itself was very good.
Yeah. So I'm going to touch on a couple of things. One that you said on Discord was
What I said,
why are we allowing pit stops here but not at New Hampshire?
that was confusing to me.
Why?
What's different?
So, I mean, we've seen this a couple of times. It's not the first road course we've had, rain on. And just because, New Hampshire started as a dry track versus Chicago starting as a wet track, I think that changed things.
How's that changed things? Chicago wasn't dry before 4:30 yesterday?
Because they prepped the pit stalls during the race with sticky stuff, glue of sorts. And you also get rubber buildup, which is, you ask the drivers, it's slick and stuff like that.
I mean, it is a public street, so I imagine there's some rubber on the pavement. And they're saying that the pit boxes at Chicago are even smaller than they are at like a track like New Hampshire. So I don't know. It's just
the stalls might be smaller, but it's wider for sure.
I mean, wider doesn't matter. Your stopping distance is shorter, and that's the concern, right? Is that you're stopping and you're slipping through the stall. Like I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get why we can do things one place but not another. I 100% think that there should be like a wet weather pit road speed limit. I like that idea. I think that would help keep people safe. But I don't know. It's just like kind of confusing. And I wasn't the only one saying that. There was plenty of people on Twitter that were sort of confused by that too. Like we can do it here, but not the other place. Like it's only been 2 weeks.
Okay, so you want non-competitive pit stops during rain races. Austin, what do you think about it?
That was a great spin. Wow, are you a journalist? My God.
That's a politician.
Zach has bad takes.
Well, we all knew that already, but
I mean, Paul last week called him out on it. So
I think I don't know. I could be way off here, but I feel like I feel like they just went to full. Is that because is New Hampshire the first race that was on a short track with the rain tires?
No, Richmond.
I don't know why.
Richmond and kind of North Wilkesboro, but
New Hampshire was the first one where we've ever started in the dry and finished in the wet. Previously, we have started in the wet and finished in the dry.
Xfinity had one also, right?
I
want to say they had. It was a
they
short.
Started in the rain.
So we've had two rain races.
New Hampshire was the first NASCAR event to finish on wets.
Okay.
Out of all 3 series.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I could be wrong.
But regardless, that's 2 cup races on short tracks in the rain, correct? New Hampshire was the second.
This year, yeah.
And then, what about years prior?
I don't know. Have we done this before? Yeah, we did this at North Wilkesboro. I mean, it's crazy. It's like we've sort of teased this idea, and I guess that's why NASCAR's so timid. Like they tease this idea of like wet weather and rain racing and all that stuff. But really, up until this year, we've done it like once or twice. And now it seems like this
every week.
Ever since NBC took over, there has not been a race not impacted by weather.
Well, I mean, sorry, Joe, you go ahead.
I was going to say, if you need rain in your city, have a NASCAR race.
Yeah, if you got a drought, schedule
Thanks
NASCAR.
for stealing my joke.
Zach did say that in Discord. So full credit where credit's due.
Credit MLA to Zach on that one.
I saw somebody say to have a race in Death Valley.
I did see that. That's funny.
But so, and how many road course races have we had total? So it's like, what is that? 3 total wet races across on short tracks? North Wilkesboro, Richmond,
to my knowledge,
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
New Hampshire. Who the
in Cup Series? Cup Series.
What am I talking about?
Shire.
E.H. Taylor's getting to me.
Trucks did do Martinsville one time.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just like strictly Cup right now.
As far as I know, that's it for Cup. Yeah.
And then for road, I know we had Coda.
Glenn. A couple years
ago. Do we have Coda again?
Sort of.
I think we've had what I'm getting at is we have had more road course races in the rain than we have short tracks.
Gen 6, wasn't it? That was still Gen 6.
Yeah, it was Gen 6. It was still rain tires.
Yeah.
What was Watkins Glen? Wasn't that Gen 6 also?
No. That was. I think that might have been first year Gen 7.
But what I'm getting at is we have had more, because this was the first road course. Again, I could be way off, but from my memory, this is the first road course race they've had where they did let teams have any kind of choice on the tire and everything. Correct?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think even as far back as Coda. No, because I remember as far back as Coda, I remember memeing Austin Cendric because he stayed out on slicks a lot longer than anybody. So I think they've done this before on a road course.
My whole thing for this whole discourse is my only defense to them allowing pit stops here, not New Hampshire, is that we've just had like blanket more experience on road courses with these. How that translates to pit stops, I'm not sure, but like NASCAR just kind of let the reins off completely here, versus on short tracks we don't have as much experience, so they're just blanket across everything, keeping the reins a little bit tighter with no live pit stops, no like choice, like a caution to change tires, whatever. But that's my argument. But if I'm wrong on there having not been more road courses with rain tires, then that's out the window. And so just what I'm getting at with this line of questioning as to how many races we've actually had on rain tires for road courses versus short tracks.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Coda. 2019 actually is when we did this. Holy crap, that was so long ago.
Right. So I feel like we've had more road courses with rain tires.
And yes, they gave them, it seems like I'm not going to watch the whole start, but it seems like basically it was wet conditions at the start and they said do whatever you want at this point.
And which race was that 2019 Coda?
Yeah, and I remember them doing that at Daytona one time when we ran the Daytona road course. I think they did that for Xfinity one time.
Was that 2020?
So we've definitely had more road course rains.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially when you factor in all three series. Yeah.
Right.
I know Trucks have raced. I think Trucks raced Mid Ohio in the rain once.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Parker Kligerman won that. I think Xfinity.
How could they tell if
Xfinity did it?
He wasn't there to touch the ground.
Canada, didn't they? One race.
No, they don't go to Canada. Trucks always went to Canada. I don't believe Xfinity went to Canada, but I think they did do it at Road America.
Xfinity definitely went to Canada.
Anyway, that's my only argument is that
more races.
Yeah, more races. So they said, "Hey, y'all do what you need to do." And yeah, does live pit stops necessarily translate? I don't know. Like, I doubt it, because like pit stops you're coming down pit lane and pulling into a pit stall. Like, there's not a whole lot of change there between a road course, street course, and a short track, or like any other kind of track, apart from maybe the pit lane being on the opposite side, or pit stall size or whatever, which is a anti-argument for what I'm saying per Zach's point of pit boxes being smaller. But I don't know. That's just my thought. Is they said, they just said, hey, a little more rains on this entire rain situation in New Hampshire than we do with Chicago, because like we just kind of, it's, I don't know. That's my only argument for why they did it. If I agree with that, I don't know. As the resident NASCAR show, yes, I completely agree with that, obviously. But
our resident Dave Moody. Make sure you block me
okay. Whoa. Let's not not go that far. All right.
We're going into that. I feel like Gluck's starting to get that way, or the teardown in general.
Yes and no. I've heard him call out NASCAR just as much as
I have too, but it just seems like they're more.
We're gonna start talking shit on other podcasts.
Yeah,
I mean, we already do on.
Well, yeah, we're the best.
Door bumper clear. Yeah, that's true. Punching down, it's just kind of a bad look for us,
Come on the pod.
Yeah, bad luck to punch down those other podcasts.
Nah, I've heard Gluck call out NASCAR plenty of times. I don't think he's caring for them at all. I think he tries to find positive spin when he can, but I don't know. You're also going to have to show me the Xfinity Series Canada race, because I don't believe you. You're going to have to find that date for me.
Joe, how did you feel about the pit stops? Anything to add?
No, I think y'all covered. I would like them to.
I would just like NASCAR to say why. Why is it different?
Yes. Yeah. Just be consistent. All I wanted them is to be consistent, which we know is hard for NASCAR to do sometimes.
See, I don't even think it's that, though, because they've been saying that, the more we do this, the more they're going to open it up. We just did it. They have said it.
I mean, say that this time. Like before, like it was just 2 weeks ago, they said we're not going to do competitive pit stops in the wet, and then we do competitive pit stops in the wet. So if they're saying,
because there's so much backlash.
Yeah, because what was their backlash for? For not doing them?
Yeah.
So then wouldn't you think if you're suddenly having a change and you want that positive press out there, say, hey, we've decided we're going to do this in the rain from now on. Like we've moved forward.
mean like Elton Sawyer saying on XM after that race that the more we do this, the more they're going to allow it. And then they allow it. Now people are like, oh, why'd they allow it?
Because there's no communication. Like there's no like,
They told
hey,
the
by the
teams.
way, going forward, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. You were saying Gluck was shilling for NASCAR?
I'm just repeating what Elton Sawyer of NASCAR said, and you're saying, oh, they didn't tell anybody. They literally said they were going to do this.
They said they were going to look at doing it in the future. They didn't say the future was Chicago.
2 weeks.
Right
Future's now, old man.
Yeah.
Right. That's not an official announcement. That's saying, oh, we're going to look into it. Like, that's not.
They just said the more that it happens, the more they're going to allow it. And they allowed it. I don't see what the problem is. Like, everybody's up in arms.
Nobody's
your
up in
problem,
arms.
Zach?
They're just confused.
Yeah, Zach. Zach's just
problem,
mad.
Zach?
Hates
Gaslighting.
NASCAR. Hates America.
Andrew gaslighting Fitzgerald.
Oh, but
Why
Zach,
are you
you
mad?
getting gaslit. Come on.
Why are you mad?
Okay. So another thing you had mentioned, though, is the start time. And we
Yes.
talked about it. The only reason I can come up with is because at 4:30 Eastern here, it is, what did I say, 8:30 a.m. in New Zealand.
Nobody gives a shit. It's because it was a concert. It's because they have the music.
Oh,
festival.
fuck off. They had that shit
They weren't
after the
weren't
race.
doing
last
it.
That's
time.
literally what they said. That's what
I
all
know.
the people in
Fuck
NASCAR media
off.
said.
They can do the fucking bullshit
Well,
afterwards.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying the whole
Nobody
reason why
cares
it's delayed
about
start time is
Toby
because
Keith.
it's
Whoa,
he's dead.
whoa,
Too
whoa,
I
soon.
said it. I
Jesus
said it.
Christ.
Hold on.
Was it Toby
That's
Keith?
An,
I don't remember who
That's-
it
that's
was.
an American
Picks by
Australian
Fitz,
hero. All right.
If you want to him on Twitter at Picks by his views
But-
do not like that.
Oh, I don't even know who the concerts were. I know the Chainsmokers were after the Xfinity race, but
was the
Yeah,
meme I
they're-
kept seeing around.
yeah.
I
Keith
don't
Urban
know.
was
To back to start times. I mean, they need to go back to like specifically for Chicago. Like I think Zach mentioned it before. You can only race on Sunday. You know when it's going to get dark, and it's the summer in a lot of the country, like especially in Charlotte. If it's the summer, it's very humid and it's probably going to storm most nights during the week.
Actually,
And
the most statistic I looked it up on NASA today.
The most
The-
statistic.
The most
On
statistic,
NASA.
yeah, on
Being
NASA.
scientific.
Yeah, I just wanted to look it up.
NASA
and
lies
yes,
about the shape of the Earth, so I bet
they
lie
do.
about a
It's
lot
flat,
more, so.
so this might be inaccurate. I don't know, but yes, statistically, your afternoon, early evening is the most likely for thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So you are correct.
So it's
Joe.
like you know that. Push it up. Okay, they're in Central Time. Make it 1, 2 o'clock. Right? There was no rain
Noon.
until noon. Because I even looked it up. I just lost it, but because all the races kind of in the early 2000s and up to like 2010, they were all like kind of 12-1 range. The ratings were through the roof. So if they're chasing ratings,
Well, it's because
Go look
Fox
at-
hadn't killed the sport yet.
right? Yes, I know different times, and they're not going to get 9 million viewers a race tomorrow, but clearly something worked if you had a bunch of people watching it at 1:00 p.m. Right? They get home from church, they're not doing anything, and obviously football season takes a hit because football's infinitely more popular than everything. But start making these races earlier. It's not going to hurt, and you attract rain to every racetrack you go to, so you might as well.
They need those West Coast views, man. That's why we're doing it, which is
I don't think we get that many though. From
No,
what I've
that-
seen.
Because
We
like
hardly get any.
I forget who tweets it every week, but they tweet like the top 10 markets, and it's always like Greensboro, Charlotte, Atlanta, and all these southeastern. Maybe there's a couple Midwest cities in there. It's like we're catering to who? A couple people in California. We love y'all in California, but
Speak for
why are we
yourself.
catering
I
to?
mean, do they not have DVRs in California?
They're
Are they
busy eating their
Ah,
avocado toast,
I don't
but
like-
you know.
I
They don't have
I
them in New
hate
Zealand.
DVR sports, man. I hate watching.
You don't
sports after
DVR
they're
F1?
live. No,
I do. I'm
I
not
watch it
getting up
live or I watch the
at
recap.
4 o'clock
That's
in the
about it.
morning.
so.
Yeah.
One of the last Fox races, I thought I was going to be slick, and I put my Direct TV to record the race, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to start this half hour late, and I'm not going to watch any commercials. And I hit start, and I try to fast forward through the fucking commercial, and they have it disabled. I was like, God fucking damn it!
What cable do you have? I can do it.
It's Direct TV.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I got
let me.
Xfinity. It lets you do it. You can
And I
zoom
think-
right through the commuters. Right through
I
the
mean,
like
it's
my
not
last point, Denny was saying on his pod, like it's mostly the network's decision, which is not shocking. It's not like breaking news.
I mean, we all
but
know that TV controls the start time.
Yeah, it's just like
That's fact.
NBC. You
need
don't
to
care
grow
about
balls.
You don't care about IndyCar anymore. Just swap the start times.
I mean, I
Fun.
did see some of that being an issue too, because I think IndyCar was on before
It was, yeah.
NBC is covering IndyCar and blah blah blah. So
Move it
Yeah.
to USA mid race.
next year we won't have that issue with NBC and IndyCar. It'll be a Fox problem, so I'm sure they'll handle it well. And
Oh, surely.
yeah, so I don't know. It's just to echo Joe. You know, it's if you are up against a time barrier, you know, as far as night coming in, we don't have nighttime. You know, New Hampshire, another example, Chicago, most of these road courses. Start earlier, like just those races. Like it's just I don't know. It sucks because I think we ultimately only had like 30 some green flag laps, I think. And I mean, the race was already shortened to begin with because it wasn't it last year, like almost 200 miles or something like that. Now it was a 165 or something. I can't remember. But they shortened the race from
It was
last year.
165 this year. I think it was 200 last year.
Yeah, so it's like it was already a shortened race, and then you have unfortunate weather hit because you schedule the race for prime time bad weather, and I don't know. Then next thing you know, we're looking at, oh my god, are we going to finish this race with only like 20 laps done?
And it's funny. Like I mentioned ratings, but it was the NBC's second most watched race in 3 years. So funny. I mentioned ratings, and
Well,
that one did well.
There's
But
you
mixed.
say that, and then I saw a thing from Adam Stern. I was super confused that said like this race was down from last year. So I don't.
Yeah, I
understand
saw that also, and it doesn't
how
make
that
sense to
tracked.
me.
yeah, I was much confused on that. But
Here's my thing with start times is how much like I don't know, like the main markets are Charlotte, Greensboro, North Carolina, the
East
South,
Coast.
whatever, East Coast. But that's not like you can't just cater to your main markets. That's not how you grow. You know what I mean? Everyone, it's capitalism. Everyone's interested in growth. That's all you care about as a business, is
works.
growth. So you have to go after these new markets. But how much of a difference is it really going to make if we start at 3:30, like we do most races, start at 3:30, like a 12:30 start versus a 1:30 start, that gives a whole extra hour to run the race. I mean, I guess the argument's to start at 1:30 or whatever Eastern time, then it's in the morning for West Coast, but like, and I guess like, Sunday going to church or whatever, like, you're not catching the race then, but I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with starting at 3:30. Unless we're running out of time, but I don't feel like we're running out of time a whole lot. I don't know. But we my point in all that is we can't just cater to the markets we already have. That's like, obviously we don't want to neglect them, but I don't, 4:30 is not neglecting me, and race ending early because of weather is neglecting, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
so
first-
3:30 your
off,
times,
fuck those markets out
12:30.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
12:30 is plenty, and I don't know. I miss the days of waking up and turning the TV on at 11 o'clock and watching a race. That was great. I loved it, but it is what it is, and I don't know. I hope these new networks come in, kind of make the races earlier. Don't,
I mean,
Amazon doesn't have a show to interrupt if we start early.
no.
So,
But I do agree with Drake's point. Like you do have to. I was joking when I said fuck those markets, but you do have to sort of cater to them.
Zach
as well.
hates California.
Jesus Christ.
This just in.
But I think what you should do is not every race needs to start at 1. I think the vast majority. My main thing is when you are at a place that does not have lights and you're up against a darkness issue is when you should shift to a little bit earlier start time. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So
Anybody
But
want to
right
be on
off
a
the bat-
podcast?
So obviously we've already said multiple times, we get rain right at the start of the race, and NASCAR does something we haven't seen before. They say, "Hey, this is over at 8:30." Called it right off the bat. Let everybody know. This kind of goes back to, was it last year that we shortened this race. Yeah.
They shortened it like midway through, and it was kind of like it
Screwed
was
a couple
weird.
teams over, and
Yeah.
so I think it's a great move by NASCAR. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
make it clear. Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't even know at the time that we were going to have this big rain shower mid-race. It was just, no matter what, this is when we end.
The other thing I'd like to do is, if we're doing that, is we're not breaking for stage cautions.
Yes.
Let's get as many green flag laps, especially at road courses, just because, I mean, you have one caution. It could be 10, 15 minutes.
Like I've said before, at Road America, 30 minutes was a stage caution, which is ridiculous.
If you're talking about putting in a timed race type thing and you're racing to a clock, now you're just wasting a shitload of time for a caution that you don't need.
Yeah.
There was a lot of criticism for the first stage caution. This one, oh, why is it taking so long? It's because it was a Josh Berry caution turned into a stage caution. And my complaint here is just shorten it all into one. Don't run 3 laps of a Josh Berry caution, say, oh, that's the end of the stage, and then run a stage caution. Just make it all one. Be like, that's it. That's end of stage. Unless it makes no sense to me.
I wish we could be a little more dynamic in that. Like it's so dumb. Like, oh, we have 3 laps until stage end, so we're gonna run those 3 laps under caution. Then we're gonna run our 4 laps under caution for our stages. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, just say, nope, this is stage end. Get your points. You can pit next lap. All that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was around a 22-minute caution there. Just seemed unnecessary. Then, we go back racing. We get this long pause, red flag. We go back racing on a clock, 100% on a clock this time, and we stop for a stage caution? Like, come on. It makes no sense. Like, during that red flag, they should have said, we're not stopping for this. Would have changed the outcome of the race because Christopher Bell and all them wouldn't have pit early to take dry tires. They would have stayed out on wets and, ended up making things a little more interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think, depending on how things change, I mean, there's still surely going to be a caution at some point. Like, somebody's going to run, and then you have another opportunity for people to pit or do whatever. And I don't know. I hate stages to begin with, but if you're going to make me do them, at least when we're got our backs against the wall for a time crunch, like, let's not do stage cautions.
Yep. Joe, you agree? No stage cautions on time crunches?
Definitely there across the board. No stage cautions.
Period. No stage cautions.
Yeah. Yes.
No, you can still give out your points. Don't throw the flag. It worked so well the few races we did it last year.
I know.
Like, no, and like because Denny was saying it was they did it on road courses only.
The Roval
last year.
Coda was great. The Roval was when they brought it back.
Yeah, Roval was when they brought it back.
It's just to help Chase Elliott.
Well, it's because freaking, first of all, I think it was a scheduling issue because you had Indy Road Course and Watkins Glen back to back. So you have 2 road courses in your face. So that sucks already because this car sucks on road courses. And then both those races were kind of meh. I mean, but I also blame Indy Road Course for sucking. That's why nobody wanted to go there. Watkins Glen is Watkins Glen. But I mean, the road courses suck because this car sucks on road courses. So, like, you can't blame no stages for that. And I thought Coda, when they did no stages, was pretty dang good from what I remember.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty.
You had pit stop strategy and all that still, and it was great racing. It worked, but I don't know. I think Indy Road Course ruined it in people's eyes. They just were like, oh, we need stage cautions back because, NASCAR fans have the fucking mind of a fucking goldfish.
Well, I mean, we've been conditioned to be that way, right? Like, we've been conditioned to think we need excitement, we need restarts, we need these wacky moments in order for it to be a good race. And that's why I was saying, were we talking Nashville? Where we were just saying, like, it was just a mid-race and that was okay. Like, that's what we have to be more comfortable with. It's like, okay, this one wasn't a barn burner, but guess what? That's fine. You're not going to have a barn burner every race. And that's what makes your exciting races that much more exciting.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It pisses me off that we have stages. I hate them.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we had in the middle of stage 2. Was it even the middle? It was like 5 laps into stage 2, wasn't it? Something like that. Heavy rain. We decided we're going to red flag it for a while. I think it was an hour and a half-ish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, we're not going racing. It's raining too hard. And it was either JT or Joe says, drivers to their cars.
JT, yeah.
Yeah, and sure as shit, drivers of the cars, we go racing, spray everywhere, which NASCAR has repeatedly said, we will not race in the rain and will not race in this if there's spray. Becomes a shit show. We see Chase Briscoe end up wrecking and taking out one of the favorites for the race, SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen. God damn it. Gisbergen. And then yeah.
Gisberger.
I used to be able to say it right, and then everybody else said it wrong, and then I said it wrong, and now I can't get it right. But SVG takes him out, destroys his car. What do you guys think about the idea to go green there? Good call, bad call.
Was Elton Sawyer on Sirius XM sometime earlier this week saying we're going to look at being more aggressive in the rain? Did that happen? And now all of a sudden they're being more aggressive, and now everybody's mad. Is that this situation? Why are you mad, Andrew? Quit being fucking mad. I don't know. It's just like if they're taking these evolutionary steps of being more aggressive, it'd be nice to know, like, just like them to say, hey, this week, next time we're up against rain, we're going to try X, Y, and Z. Honestly, I think they just did it because of what we said earlier. That's right. I hate evolution. Darwinism is a joke.
Clip that. Someone clip that.
But I think really what it all came down to was we needed to get laps in to get to halfway. I think that's what they were most concerned about.
Okay. Joe, Austin, any other takes on it? Just a bad call. Something that didn't work out.
Yes,
probably.
They tried. They didn't work, and they'll hopefully learn from it.
Well, Mr. Brandman, your boy will be joining Team Toyota. Maybe we'll have some better luck next year. Welcome to the club. So, let's see. What else do we have going on? Well, we finally get going racing. Bell seems like the clear favorite. Again, he then pits, 2 laps before the stage caution, just like we see at every road course.
Yep.
Everybody switches to slicks.
Almost
except
everybody.
for what? It was like the top 10 did not.
Yeah.
Well, what became
at the stage. 10. Yeah. What do you guys think? Right call, wrong call? Joe, what do you think? Right call?
It almost was the right call for Bell and Reddick. If Reddick doesn't hit the wall there in turn 5, I think it was.
Yep.
On that last lap, he probably gets the Bowman. Now, what would have happened? Was there, weren't that many passing zones left, so he would have had to maybe move him, and Bowman probably blocks. Who knows what happens there? But Bell was coming too before Recce spin house happened, and that would have been, especially if both of them did not hit the wall and wreck, that would have been a very entertaining last couple laps. But obviously it was the right call for Bowman because he won. So,
yep. Zach, right call, wrong call, pit stops?
I think on speed it was the right call, but I think it was a risky call, and it turned out to be. But I mean, I guess if you're leading, you got to think they're going to do whatever you don't. So, if you stay out, I mean, everybody was, I guess, well, I don't know, because everybody was trapped at that point anyway. If Bell would have stayed out, so they would have all stayed. A bunch of people would have stayed on rain tires anyhow. But then you have that next caution. I don't know. It's tough. It's a very tough call. I think on speed it was the right call, because I think if Bell doesn't get taken out, he 100% catches Bowman. But you're just putting yourself back there in traffic, and you never know what's going to happen. And when you get around Ricky Stenhouse, bad shit happens.
Austin, same thoughts?
Yeah, probably the same. I mean, I don't know. I like the different calls, obviously, and I think that's what makes some of this, all this fun with rain conditions, especially these like in between rain conditions. Like races being full rain, sure, that's entertaining because what they call rain the great equalizer. But rain on and off, changing calls and everything is, like, to me, that's what makes rain racing exciting. Rain mid race or rain before the race as the track dries out. So I don't know. That's why I love this, because it's like mixes it up without it being just chaos, of just a ton of wrecks that mixes stuff up. It's actually like some strategy, some risk and everything that's involved. And sometimes like rolling the dice a little bit, I guess. But obviously it's like rolling dice educatedly. So like playing blackjack, there's a little bit of luck, but also you're making educated calls the whole time. So I don't know. I think that, that's my 2 cents on, everything is just, that's why I love rain,
Yeah.
I love that we're finally racing on it to some degree.
Rain makes corn.
Corn makes whiskey.
True.
Whiskey makes my baby. Watch
Watch.
NASCAR. Watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
We're
So
about to get a copyright strike.
I will say,
There goes
I will
all our
say-
revenue from this. Dadgummit.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Mother-
All
get
the
a
money
real
we
job
make
now?
from our podcast. Dadgummit.
Come
All
on,
the
guys.
millions of dollars.
I will
want
say
a house,
after
I
this
have to
week,
sell mine now.
Zach and I will officially never be crew chiefs because
we
both
made
said
terrible
at the
calls all
start-
race.
Yeah, all race. We're like,
Why
I
are you
put
doing
on
it?
rain tires at the start, and then they're getting lapped, and it was like, ooh.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then-
don't know what I'm talking about. It was a humbling
Yeah.
experience.
Which is
Yep.
yeah, that's funny. That's why whenever we make a race team, I'm the driver. Y'all are all the pit crewmen. JT is our crew chief.
JT is
always
the
makes good
designated
calls.
crew chief.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with 10 laps to go, or 10 minutes to go, my bad. We get a caution. I'm over here just counting my money because I have Bowman to win. Joey Hand top 3, just money everywhere. It's done. It's over. We're good. Except we're not. We go back racing, which got to hand it to NASCAR. It was a pretty quick cleanup. Man, as a Reddick fan, I've never been so disappointed. I wanted that win so bad, like Chicago in a 2311 car. It's just so close. He was fast last year, and he cost me money. I mean, Bowman still wins, but Joey Hand ends up 4th. And it's just like, if you're gonna hit the wall, bro. Ty Gibbs, P3, good finish for him. Ran good all day. Yeah. But, and we didn't talk about it earlier in the race, Bowman got into Bubba, spins him out, a little bit of damage. After the race, obviously Bowman's won, doing his parade lap. Bubba comes by and sideswipes him, kind of doors him. The internet is up in arms over this.
How dare
No
he?
way.
He could have killed him.
Yeah.
He could have.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yep.
Jesus.
And everybody's saying that Bubba should be suspended, get fined, all this other stuff, lose his ride, until they realize Chase Elliott did the exact same thing to Daniel Suarez after the race.
Well, it's different.
Oh, yeah, because it's Chase Elliott.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Denny Hamlin getting right hooked at Charlotte was completely on Denny Hamlin.
Need the Peter Griffin, the shades, the color shades. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, first of all, do you think Chase or Bubba should be suspended, fined, penalized at all?
No.
No,
Not
NASCAR probably
absolutely.
still will fine them, but I don't think they should personally.
I think that's,
Zach?
I mean, fine or not, I don't know. Like, I don't think they should. Well, yeah, like Joe said, probably they will. But I think, I mean, what was the other time we had a discussion like this where it was like,
We just had hosts of ours spinning out Harrison Burton.
yeah. But there's something, yeah, where you're like, yeah, where it was like, this is, intent wrecking. Is there a fine involved? It's like, well, that's part of the sport to a degree. And it's like, it's still on NASCAR. It's still NASCAR's onus, I guess, to fine them, but it's still part of the sport. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what makes it interesting. So I don't think that, definitely not a suspension. I think that's insane. Like if he would have, I mean, remember one of my all-time favorite NASCAR moments, literally ever, is Brad Keselowski. I think it was after one of the Coke 600s when he goes after Denny, and then he goes in the pits and he's gone for someone else. I forget who. Yeah, and then bashes into Tony on pit road, and Tony just throws that bitch in reverse and just destroys Brad. Top 3, if not top 1 favorite NASCAR. Well,
Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of my all-time. I mean, he got hit with the book for that one, but like I can't remember if Brad got any kind of penalties for going after those guys after the race. But like that's like so fun. Like I love guys going after each other. Like that's what makes NASCAR. That's what makes stock car racing is that you can do that. Because like as much as we give F1 crap for their insane penalties, or like Indy cars is like any kind of open wheel. It's like, well, it makes sense because you can't beat bang in those cars, so you kind of have to penalize those. Stock cars you don't have to, because you can door a guy and it do nothing to either of you. So yeah, like let him express his frustration on the racetrack. I don't know. Like I have no problem with that at all. I don't care who it is. Obviously, people are gonna have a problem because it's Bubba for one reason or the other. Just like but like I don't know. I don't get that either, because if Joey went after someone after the race, I wouldn't be calling for his suspension. And I hate Joey. If Austin Cindric went after someone, I wouldn't care. So I don't know. Like that's a level I don't understand of wanting someone to be suspended for something that makes the sport great. So yeah, I understand if they fine him or whatever, but suspension's out of the question.
$10,000 fine. Both drivers move on.
Yeah, sure.
Something arbitrary is fine. Make a little slap on the wrist, whatever. I don't care.
$10,000 donated to some charity. Move on.
Yeah, I agree. The France family's bank account.
That's the charity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Drake. It's funny. Just go a slight tangent here. A lot of people I know, for some reason, are all watching a Gran Turismo movie right now. Like I know like 3 or 4 people who've just watched it, and they all ask me what I think about it, just because they know I'm into racing and all that stuff. And just to echo what Drake's saying about F1, is like one of my biggest problems about the Gran Turismo movie is that you watch some scenes and they're doing GT racing over in Europe, and they're fucking slamming into each other and parts are flying. Like if you know anything about the FIA,
that doesn't happen.
They are parking them in a second.
Uh-huh.
That does not happen. That definitely happens in NASCAR. So I mean, I saw some ridiculous stuff like, oh well, Bowman could have been unbuckling his seat. Well, then NASCAR should fine Bowman for unbuckling his seat while he's driving around. Like you stay buckled in the car. You keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times until it comes to a complete stop. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like it's whatever. And it was a bump. Like I mean,
yeah.
How hard have I seen people bump each other congratulating one another?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some guys will bump the shit out of each other just congratulating. So
Kyle Busch has bumped the pace car.
Yeah. I mean, that was funny.
Yeah.
I get it if it's post race and if he like left quarter panels the dude head first in the wall while they're for some reason going 180 after the race is over. Sure, like suspend his ass. But
slowest part of the track. Like
if you don't end up backwards, don't even talk to me. Like,
I don't care if his seatbelt's off. Those seats, like he's got a Hans device on. He's got the racing seat he's molded into. Like, obviously you need a seatbelt for high speed collisions, but a bump at 50, whatever, however slow they're going, they're 30, 20 miles an hour at that point. Like, no, stupid. Like it's just copium to try to like find it being way worse than it was. It's stupid. It's so annoying.
There's got to be some way to give Bubba a murder charge.
We got to get him in jail somehow for this.
It's just stupid. Like
first name bunch of numbers.
There was a Twitter account. It was Chase Elliott and Hendrick fan, and he was saying that Bubba needs to be suspended and that he could have killed somebody. And the first comment's like, "Boy, do you look stupid right now?" It was just like, "Yep."
It's just so funny. I don't know. I don't want to say something like it's mostly Hendrick fans, but you do see like some Chase fans like giving Bubba shit, and it's just like it's so funny just because of what Chase did to Denny last year. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you forget? So I don't know.
Like
Give
I
him
said,
a fine. I'm fine with
fishes.
a little fine. Like little $10,000 fine. Quit playing grab ass or roll. Whatever. Something to say. Don't do that, but also don't not do it.
Timed races, yay or nay?
Nay.
Like over like entire race time or what? Like
yeah. That's just entire race. Say we had a 2-hour NASCAR race.
Yeah, I've seen some discourse to basically make NASCAR races, like people saying, "Oh, timed races are so much fun. You don't know when you're racing to," and blah blah blah. But I don't understand the difference. You do. You're racing to a time.
Yeah.
You just don't
24
know how to
hours of Daytona, but it's NASCAR.
I'd be in
It's
on that.
incredible.
All 3 series.
Yes.
From the Coke 600 to just 6 hours.
Right,
The Code
basically
6.
already.
Yeah.
Coke 6.
And
Indy
if you do that,
5.
then I'm really going to start hammering about no stages.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because like I don't
18
want to
stages.
And
I
no
don't wanna
cautions
lose
for a dude getting
racing.
sideways and one at the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Right. Like then I start thinking about
No
okay, so I'm
cautions.
losing racing content because of 1 stages and 2 bullshit cautions. And that pisses me off. Like I don't want to see less racing. And that's what everybody seems to be excited. Well, you don't know when it ends. It could end this. I don't know. I just think it's stupid.
What
I
did
think
you think of the timer for this
don't know.
race? A shortened race.
I mean, it was good that they had it up, so I, as a viewer, knew when the race was going to end. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I liked it as an alternative to we can't get this whole race in. Darkness is coming, so we're going to end when we think time-wise it'll be too dark. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But like to say, I think this is one of those situations where like something different happened and everybody's super excited about it. So like they think that that's somehow better, but it's just really not. It's just different for this time. Like it's something different that we've never experienced in NASCAR before. Because if time races were the move, why is IMSA not super, super, super popular? The most popular motorsport in America. You know, IMSA and European sports cars both race off of timed races all the time. So if that's the move, then why isn't everybody watching those?
Actually, I got one thing to ask you guys about here. When the clock hits 0, what flag should the leader get coming around?
I mean, if
White.
you go by everything else,
White.
they
It's
get
the white flag.
Yeah.
everything
white.
else they get the checkered if the clock's.
No, they get the white.
I'm pretty sure if they don't think you can get a full lap in, they'll give you.
Yeah,
the
like
white flag.
yeah. If it's because I mean
Is it
we
that way?
as Daytona 24 champions.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yep.
Joe, you're not in that. But
Oh.
but the
Tire
3 of us
barrier enjoyer.
tire barrier coated Joe. But yeah, as Daytona 24 enjoyers, all of us, we know like if there's what laps are like a minute and a half at Daytona Road in a prototype. So if you're coming to the checkered flag or coming to the start finish line with 30 seconds in the race, it's the white flag. It's not checkered. And then, or it's not nothing, it's not just a green flag or whatever. Like, cause you're not making another lap in 30 seconds. So, I think that's, I don't know. I could see it either way, I guess. Just make it clear what it's going to be, if it, say at 0, once the clock hits 0, the next flag's the white, or make it clear. Like if you're coming to the start finish and there's not enough time to reasonably make another lap, then it's the white. Just make that clear. Even like a cutoff, like if you're averaging, a minute and a half laps, if it's anything more than a minute, 25, a minute 20, even, it's a white flag. Just set a clear line. Just make it clear. I think that's the only thing I'd ask for either way.
Yeah, I think I remember actually this year Daytona 24. I think there
It
was
was
some
shortened. Yeah.
Yeah, it was shortened because like I guess they miscalculated or something like that. So like they took the white flag or they crossed the line with like I don't know, just 2 minutes to
23
go.
hours and 59 minutes 30 seconds.
Right. It was like they crossed the line for what ended up being the last lap with like 2 minutes to go, and everyone's like, "Oh, we got 2 laps left." And then all of a sudden they're coming out onto the NASCAR 3 and 4, and they're like, "Checkered flag," and they still had good 30, 40. They had plenty of time to make the line for another lap. So yeah, in endurance racing and all that stuff, they figure what a reasonable lap time is, I guess, and say, no, you can make one more lap. So, they'll give you the white flag when they don't think you can make another lap. So that's how everybody else does it. And when you hit 0, you're 9 times out of 10 coming to checkered. Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate the way NASCAR did it, though. I guess I don't hate you just say you're running to 0 plus 2. I mean, that's basically what it is. You're running to 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Plus
Still
2
makes
laps.
no sense to me. Like +1.
I think it's because nobody could explain it simply. Just you're running to 0 plus 2. Like that's just exactly what it was, but like they had to like, you're running to lap 0. Once the timer hits 0, then the next lap they get like it seemed like a really long.
So that's why I think you just make it simple: is you get the white flag once the clock is expired, or you get.
I mean, if you want to, sure, whatever. I like the idea of 2 laps for some reason.
Okay,
but I really don't care.
Anything else for the Cup race, guys? We got to get this show moving.
A lot of music over. We're at.
Right.
I really like Chicago. I'll say that. I think I'm coming around Chicago.
Xfinity
overall,
fucking great race.
Great race.
Oh my god, Larson SVG battle, and then SVG just gives him the thumbs up as he goes by. Like
it was awesome.
It was.
I'm starting to like Cup cars on street courses. Maybe there is something there. We still haven't seen it in the dry yet, so I'm not sold 100%. But it did seem like the city. You know, my main complaint last week was I never thought the city seemed like they wanted us there. But the mayor came out and he was like, you know, yeah, we love NASCAR here and all that stuff. So whatever, man. I'm for it now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go next year if they go. We were looking at tickets actually for this Sunday. We didn't go, but
I had some friends who were friends who were visiting Chicago this weekend. So I haven't asked them yet, but I'm very curious as to what their opinion was on NASCAR being there that weekend and clogging up Lakeshore Drive.
Sounds like it wasn't as bad as, you know, just general consensus it would be.
I mean, Chicago's big. There's plenty of other areas in the city you can go. Like, obviously, traffic's going to be worse, but still.
Yeah, Lakeshore Drive's pretty busy, but, I mean, if their detours are set right and all that, fuck it. Let's hop into news quick. Carson Hocevar gets a $50,000 fine, 25-point penalty. We kind of saw it coming. They'll appeal it. My guess is the points stick.
Are they really going to appeal it? Have they said that?
So they said there's SMT data that shows otherwise, but from what I see is as soon as he started hitting Burton hit the brakes and spun. So that's their only fighting chance
I'll tell you
here.
what, though, if you do an appeal, you know, there's precedent that this penalty sticks. If you look at Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain from the other year. You know,
I think it should.
Then he just said he just loosened up the wheel. So, like, he didn't even dump Ross. He just said he loosened up the wheel, and that was enough to give him 25 points and whatever dollar fine. So, I mean, there's precedent for this.
Yep.
So, it'll be interesting.
Josh Berry to the Wood Brothers 21 car next year. And I misunderstood. I thought Rodney was going with him, but Rodney Childers for LaJoy next year in the 7 Spire car.
Yeah. Well, he also has a multi-year deal with the 7 car, so it could be with someone else next year. Yeah.
Haley Deegan officially leaves AM Racing. Sounds like it was pretty mutual, both parts.
Hey, you suck. All right, bye.
Yeah. I mean, they fired the crew chief, and it sounds like the guy that they got, I think Zach and I would be better. And
wasn't Joey like explaining how to make the car do a certain thing?
Yeah, Joey said that he fires off quick, but then gets slower, and they asked him, would he like to go up or down with the tire pressure? And Joey basically said, well, if it's good at the beginning and gets worse, we should probably go down, which, I mean, So,
I mean, it's not like them teams have a boatload of money, though. So I guess what pool of crew chiefs are you grabbing?
You also have a NASCAR or a Cup driver that's been around forever who is going to give you more insight than a lot of people. So, I mean, I get it, but believe me, it's not the crew chief's fault that car was running in the back every week. So, and I saw a lot of Sims calling for AM Racing's head this week, but they're making the right move. Josh Berry will be filling in at Pocono. I like it. I mean, honestly, if that car finishes 15th or better, that's a good week.
I mean, if you're just not crashing cars,
like
you can't make your program better if you're always fixing your cars from the week previous. So, just not crashing cars will be a gain for them.
Yeah.
FRM driver announcement tomorrow, rumored to be Noah Gragson.
Ready to be a Noah fan, Austin?
No, absolutely. I don't know, man. I think I've said it before. Noah's growing on me.
There it is.
No has grown on me. I've said it before. Check the tapes.
Please
Check the
read your
tapes.
stats.
He's going to be over here being a Carson Hocevar, Noah Gregson fan. It's going to be great. Like last year, complete opposite. Like, I hate these guys. But yeah, I rumored to the 34 car from what I'm hearing. Which
Noah hasn't been as much of a D-bag as he was in the past, so I'll give Drake that.
I mean, he's like Carson's been the same way. I mean, apart from the obvious.
yeah.
I feel like both
He was
guys
getting
have-
better. Like I literally started like liking Carson, and he's got the personality. Noah's got a personality too, and it's like and then he goes and right hooks freaking Burton. It's just like ooh.
It's just always been my thing with Noah fans. Like, y'all say y'all want driver personality, and y'all got him. Now y'all don't like him. It's like, well, the only personality isn't douchebag. Like, there's so many other personalities that you can have.
Like he's having more fun in the Cup Series, or at least he's like opened up and like, I don't know how to really explain it. A more likable personality.
In Xfinity, he was trying to be like this, I don't know, tough guy kind of thing. Like, like
I'm the intimidator.
I got this feeling he was trying to be like an intimidator, or like he wanted to be like a Kyle Busch kind of thing. But it's like, you can only get away with being that kind of guy if you're out there actually just winning constantly. Like that's always been my thing about Kyle Busch. Like his attitude does not work if he's running 20th. You got to go out there and win and show that your attitude is justified. And he just never really did. So, but I think he's calmed down since he's been in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I agree. The electric prototype was unveiled at Chicago, and we got video of it launching from a standing start.
If you need a boomer of the week, go to any Facebook post even remotely related to
who had the one in Discord that was
Brandon
crazy.
That wasn't even in a freaking
Let me find that.
It's I have it right here. So Brandon, shout out Mr. Brandman, posted. He said, posted in my town's Facebook group this morning. Group has nothing to do with NASCAR. And it says, okay to all NASCAR fans, are we going to accept and still watch races with electric cars? That's in all caps. So is NASCAR fans. Instead of race fuel, fire breathing, loud engines. No punctuation after this, because I am old enough. I don't think I saw an electric stock car when I was growing up. Let's vote. Race fuel or batteries? Let NASCAR know loud and clear. I was very gracious with my pauses there because there's not a whole lot of punctuation in that post.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't even have to go to a NASCAR post about it. You can just go to any random Facebook group apparently, and there's some boomer complaining about the potential of electric cars. And I don't fully disagree, I guess.
Andrew, you're the biggest boomer in all of our discords, so fuck off.
I'm here for the electric cars. Like, this is not going to replace the Cup Series. This is not going to replace the Cup Series. It's not going to replace the Xfinity Series. If it comes out and it is just some supporting weekend series for like a 50 lap at Bristol
exhibition.
Yeah. Some just 50 lap, 10 car bullshit ass race. Electric cars are fast as fuck. Like, this would be entertaining.
Quick as fuck too.
I love racing of all sorts. Yeah, exactly. They're quick. So I don't care if they hold a charge for 100 miles. I want to see them go out for a short race. Just go fast as fuck for a little while. Maybe put on a good race. That's it. I'm not going to go to an event just because they're there, but I'm here for it. If they have good racing, I will watch it.
If it's an exhibition, though, however, inevitably one day, someday, surely in the future, NASCAR's got to make a move to full electric as stock cars
replace the ARCA series.
Yeah.
Right now, you got 5 ARCA cars go out every week and put 2 laps on the rest of the field, and you're lucky to have 25 cars show up. So
it's funny because I guarantee you it's the same people complaining about NASCAR not being stock anymore. It's the same people who are going to complain whenever NASCAR goes full electric when every manufacturer is full electric in the future.
Yeah.
It's like pick one. Like, which again, I think our collective stance here is that NASCAR does not need to be stock. Like, stock car racing can be a different category than a stock car, like by pure definition. So, I support the idea that even if every manufacturer goes full electric, that we should still keep NASCAR at least somewhat ICE. But, will that happen? Who knows? Because if yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's getting too deep into the subject, but the posts have been hilarious.
We'll have a hybrid NASCAR eventually, Cup Series.
Surely,
but...
yeah.
Zach, your take.
You know what?
Your take.
I hate it. I hate it. Electric cars do not interest me. They are dumb, and I just do not enjoy them. However, there are people that do. I was looking up Formula E, and I saw that they have like a 40% increase of viewership over last year. So there's people interested in electric cars.
So they went from 10 to 16.
I did think of that joke.
60%.
But no, they actually get like millions. Like they got good numbers according to a quick Google search. I don't understand how the numbers work, but there's a lot of people apparently, according to Google, watching Formula E.
What's on right before Formula E?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is soccer on right before?
There could be some critical context that I'm missing from these numbers. That's very possible.
Yeah.
But I still think there is an audience for EV racing. They're all lame, but there's an audience for it.
First 2 years of Formula E, I caught a couple races, and they put on a decent show. So
you've been watching.
I haven't seen him. I never see him on. I don't know when, where.
You
it's
like
the
racing.
IndyCar of if it was on, I'd watch it. I don't know when it's on.
It's
like IndyCar. I don't know when IndyCar's on. If I knew when it was on, I'd watch it.
They got like boost pads, like in all kind. Like it's
like.
I
don't like that. I don't like that.
It's like playing Blur, but with like real. I don't know if it was playing. Blur before, but
I know Blur.
It's weird. So my thought is, if you want to have an EV series, so I kind of think of that. If you want to have an EV NASCAR series, maybe you do the goofy shit over there. You do, I don't know, some crazy stages with 3 wide restarts, and I don't know, every third lap they got to drive in reverse or whatever bullshit excitement factor you want to try to throw in. You do that in the EV series, and let me have my Cup series where it's just more about pure racing. I would live in a very happy world. But no, I would not watch EV NASCAR in any way, shape, or form. But I don't necessarily get mad at the idea of them trying it, because I do understand A, that manufacturers are going that way, and B, there is a market for people who do want to watch it.
Call me Nathan.
Oh, now I know what you're saying, but you got me saying it.
This would be a trigger word for Zach since he doesn't like evolution, but Neanderthal. Thank you. But I just love, as much as I was making fun of that post about race fuel, fire breathing, loud engines.
It's kind of right.
There's something about it, man. I don't know. I can't imagine showing up to Hickory Motor Speedway and hearing. It's like, that's not why I'm here. I'm here so I can hear the next day.
What if they add speakers and do the Tesla engine sounds?
Yeah, like you can no. Heck no. Absolutely not. I mean, it's an adjustment. Like, end of the day, racing's racing. I mean, the power output and whatever you call, like, the mapping is very different in an electric car, I think, than an ICE, because obviously you can get to power like that, like instant power from the motor. So I get it. Like, obviously the racing is going to be different in that sense, unless they do something with the engine mapping, I guess, but or throttle mapping. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know. It's I'm not, you call me a boomer or whatever, but I think that would be a hard adjustment for me. Even if they ease us in with hybrid, I think I think that, because they have hybrid, prototypes are hybrid, like the, LMPs, whatever, hybrids. But even if they ease us in with those and then switch electric, if prototypes switch electric fully, that'd be very strange. So I don't know. I would have a very hard time adjusting to that if big NASCAR switched to electric. Obviously that'd be way down the line of my imagination, like no less than 10 years, but that would still, from where I'm sitting right now, be a hard adjustment.
I think there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline that I don't think major motorsports will go full electric for many, many years, if ever, because you have things like synthetic fuels, you have hydrogen, you have all different types of like fuel sources that they're sort of playing with and trying to get to, that I think motorsport might sort of follow that a little bit more so than full electrification. I said I can get on board with a hybrid if you do the right hybrid. If you do like Drake was saying, a Cadillac GTP type thing where it's still a meaty sounding V8 with some electrical boost, that's fine. But
I mean, some of the best sounding engines out there, those starts from the pits.
Oh yeah, the bump starts from those Cadillacs.
Oh nuts. Yeah, amazing.
So
So NASCAR in advanced talks with Nitro Cross to form an alliance so Nitro Cross can race at NASCAR tracks. Nitro Cross is electric.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is the move. I think they're going to buy Nitro Cross, and they're going to sort of, I don't know, rebrand it or something like that. They're going to tie it in. I think that's where their EV stuff will go.
Yep. So, like I said, supporting-ish series or some kind of event on NASCAR weekends.
I think ARCA should be, for the record, I think Andrew's talking crap when he says make ARCA electric. I think ARCA should be a late model series.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. Like, I'd rather go to that and have 40 cars. But
I wonder how much it's going to cost. Do you think electric would be more expensive? Like, surely it has to, right?
I think it's going to bring in. I don't know if it's more expensive.
I thought I heard that development car costs like over $1 million.
I heard a lot more than $1 million.
I heard like 1.5 or something like that.
I think it had a B on it, but
billion. I find that
no way, no shot.
No, it's a souped up Tesla. No way is it $1 billion.
It's a Cybertruck, damn it. That thing fell apart as soon as it jump started.
Oh, you're right. 1.5 million.
Look at that.
But I mean, that's not that much for NASCAR. But
yeah, how much
for an ARCA team? You're saying about a smaller series.
But that's to develop the car, right? But yeah, and true. So yeah, I was saying like ARCA team, smaller team. But I think what you're going to have within a full electric car is you're going to get different manufacturers coming in. I think it's going to be a manufactured kind of like F1 event where you're going to have your Tesla racing and your, I don't know what the fuck the other ones are, Ford Lightning cars. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I guess happens to it. And then you're just going to have drivers under that flagship and yeah.
Have fun.
Yep. I'll enjoy it for a week. And if it's bad, I'll give up. If it's good, I'll keep watching. But
enjoy your blenders.
Yeah. Let's move on to kill count. Man, there's so many more we didn't add to the list, but we're just going to go Bowman 1, Hamlin 1, Briscoe 1, and Ricky 1. There's like probably 20 other wrecks in this race that either didn't cause a caution or weren't shown. So, yeah. Survivor, Zach.
Survivor. Let's see. How do we all do?
Let's
most of us same as last week.
Most of us did pretty good, but
four
Drake picks, hands
man.
down the favorite.
Chase Briscoe, more like Chase Stupido,
and just gets cleaned out and finishes. I don't know if he finished 36 or not. I just put 36.
I think it was last. Yeah,
whatever last was, let's put last because I think he was an extra car. So there's probably 2 extra cars, so it might have been 38th or something. I don't know. But anyway, he was last, so that's very unfortunate.
Just last.
And then who came in third?
We all had some good finishes here. I mean,
the rest was the top 5.
Joe with 5th. Wait, Justin Haley got 5th?
No, I had McDowell.
Oh, McDowell. Where the fuck did I just see? Oh,
you're looking at the wrong column.
Yep, wrong column. Then I had Joey Hand.
Yep.
And 4th, and Ty Gibbs 3rd. So
who thought Joey Hand better pick than SVG?
I mean, obviously he's the best out there.
I mean, he wasn't gonna be, but then they stayed out on tires. Than that.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: this is the first time I realized this weekend was the first time I realized his name was ended with an N and not an R. Because I feel like they called him Gisberger.
Well, that's
so much before.
I think that's what goes with what Andrew was saying. Is like you've heard so many people say his name so very wrong.
Yeah,
it like throws you off now.
I was like, huh? Gisbergen? What? Who's that? And I was like, oh.
Like I think the first few times I heard it was like Gisenberg. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you look at it now and it's like, oh, this is really easy to say. And
Right. I
then
don't understand why they were having so much trouble with this.
They were
Yeah.
saying it like a kid who just learned a cuss word and like says
Right.
it all the time. They
Yeah.
were saying his name all the time. Like they weren't saying SVG very much. They were saying the whole. You could tell they practiced that stuff.
Yeah. Shane Van Gins. I can't say it.
Hey, you didn't
Gisbergen.
practice. It's fine. You're not part of the
Gisbergen.
broadcast team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Interesting week for us at Chicago. So on to Pocono, Mr. Drake. Who you taking?
Famed Pocono champion, Mr. Denny Hamlin.
You can
Dead last
boo my
finish.
rock. That's what he said last year.
She boo on my rock till I.
Joe.
Going with Justin Haley.
Good pick. Good pick.
Just
I'm gonna go
Haley.
with Willie B.
Where had that team been?
Yeah.
Lately? I feel like
Rebound
Byron-
week.
I feel like they've just been off. Am I?
Yeah, I
crazy
haven't-
for thinking that.
No. Well, I
No,
mean,
it's-
no.
he's getting okay finishes. I feel like he's just not leading all the laps like he did at the beginning of the season.
Well, it's just weird. Like
teams
you
have caught up.
went from being really fast. I guess you always wonder, mid-season, did everybody catch up, or are they trying shit? I guess we'll find out.
It's a great thing with
Trying shit.
NASCAR though is that you get that like F1. You don't. I mean, well, I guess you get that a little bit right now with F1, but still
F1's
not
actually
nearly
kinda
as much
crazy with the competitiveness right now. It's kinda
right
weird.
now. Yeah, for the
They're
first
gonna
time
have
in
to spot.
5 years.
And first
Versus
time
you
in
get this every year with NASCAR. So
35 years, really.
yeah, really.
So Joe's got Justin Haley. I'm gonna take Bubba just because I think Bubba
He's
does okay,
surprisingly good at
Yeah.
Pocono.
and I think Toyotas are gonna be strong here. So we'll take
Yeah.
Bubba.
I thought about going Reddick, but it's like I can't waste my Reddick pick yet. Okay, let's see. Boomer of the week we already kind of went over. We'd have no OnlyFans. Submit an OnlyFans. Also make sure to like, follow, subscribe.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did Survivor bets. I haven't really looked at, but
Still pissing
Pocono.
Mbappe today. Screwed up my parlay.
dude, yeah, that's rough.
One
rough.
shot on. He had 4 shots, only 1 on goal. Choke. He's a fraud.
Denny Hamlin is projected to be the winner according to sportsbooks, followed by Larson, 400 and 450. I am not touching those. Where's Bubba at? Ooh, I might be on Bubba plus 3,500. Bowman might actually be a decent pick too. Said 3,000. So, let's look at some head-to-heads for Pocono. Got Denny Hamlin versus Kyle Larson. Who do you guys like?
Denny Hamlin, because
Obviously
he makes
Denny.
Kyle his bitch all the time.
Yeah.
Say not to big Larson fans.
Joe, you got a pick?
I'll go with Dennis.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Actually,
gonna
I'd
go
go
with Denny
Kyle.
also.
I'd go with Kyle, to be honest with you.
Really?
Denny's just been seeming like, and I probably should have said this earlier when Drake was making his pick. I just feel like they keep fumbling the ball. It seems like either
Yep.
they're way off or they fumble right now. So
Yeah.
I'd go Larson, honestly.
Yeah, he looked awful this week. That's
He
all
was
I gotta
awful
say.
this week. They fumbled in Nashville. And then I think the week before was Iowa, right? They were awful there. So they're either awful or dropping the ball.
Yep. Truex or Byron?
I'd take Truex right now.
Yeah. It's just based on performance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Byron. I don't know. Yeah. I think I go. Truex.
Joe?
I will go with. I gotta go William Byron. I gotta be a homer on that one.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm slamming Willie B on that matchup. And yeah. Chastain or Kyle Busch?
God.
Ross. I'm going Ross there. Yeah.
I don't know who's picking Kyle over on anything right now.
I think you got to go Kyle this week. I really do.
No. You don't.
Yeah, he's
We
got
got
to
a
have a
top 10.
rebound week. It's got to
We
happen
gotta-
sometime.
We got top 10 in Chicago. We're back, baby.
Yep. Elliott or Gibbs?
Chase.
Gibbs.
Gibbs. Blaney or Brad Keselowski?
Blaney.
I don't know. I kind of want to say Brad K.
Brad K.
It's fine. Take the losing pick. It's okay. You
Yep.
can't win them all, you know.
Yeah.
And final one, Bell or Reddick?
Ooh.
Reddick.
Oh, really, Zach? Bell?
What? Joe can be the homer and I can't?
No. Exactly right. Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick also, and not because I'm a
I'm
homer,
tra-
but
I'm tracking that one.
23-11 is historically good at Pocono, which is weird because their owner's really good there too. So, yeah, a little bit of a longer episode this week, but we'll be back next week with Pocono Tuesday nights at 9:30 Eastern. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot. Comment if you can. Paul, thank you for the comment last week. And Zach is always wrong. Andy hates everything. Correct.
What? I don't
But-
hate everything.
She poke
Yep.
on my node till what turn 4?
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
I love you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checkered Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod for the podcast, at Biggles TV for Zach, at
Football
Shake and
season may
Drake
be
_
over, but for frequency's sake, still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered Podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
Hey everyone, we are checking out at Walmart. We've got ourselves 4 full carts. We got plenty of toys here. We're going to see what our final number is here in a couple of minutes. But we've got a couple of nice folks here checking us out. But hopefully we'll got plenty of stuff for everybody to get everybody a nice happy Christmas this year.
Football season is just around the corner, and once again, For Fantasy's Sake is running its annual Toys for Tots Fantasy Football Leagues. Don't miss your chance to be crowned the best fantasy football player in the Quad Cities. The For Fantasy's Sake Toys for Tots Bowl is loaded with great prizes and even better local celebrity participants, ranging from professional athletes and news personalities to your favorite FFSQC personalities. To sign up, just visit For Frequency's Sake on Facebook or Twitter and follow the links.